Now, around this time of the year, many people want to know, when will you get your refunds? Get your screenshots ready, because I have a chart that I'm going to show that basically shows the estimated 2026 IRS tax refund dates when you will get your refund. Now, if you want to get a larger refund, I highly recommend that you listen for at least the next 4 to 5 minutes, because this is what you got to understand. A lot of times when this time of the year comes, people are trying to figure out how to get a fair refund, and the first place they look is from the tax preparer or the tax strategist or whatever tax professional you choose. That's where they look in terms of trying to get the fattest refund. When in all actuality, what they should do is have you to look at your activities and what you did in the previous year to position you to get the largest refund legally, ethically, and morally. So the first place you should look is in the activities that took place in the previous year, because it's really minimal things that you can do this year that will position you to get a fatter refund when you file this year, because it's based on what you did last year. What do I mean? Well, it's the activities that you conducted, the money that you may have spent, the deductions that you may have qualified for, the credits that you may have qualified for based on activities or things that, changed about your life, that determine what you're able to file on this year. As you notice, everything is based on the previous year. So even though it's 2026, you're filing based on 2025. Now, I know that's simple and plain to most people. However, this is what you got to know. Sometimes people just don't realize that they qualify for more money. They qualify for more tax deductions because they didn't think the things that they were doing were tax deduction worthy. They may have thought, oh, I donated money to, charity or causes, pay my tithes and offerings. That should give me a nice amount. No, what positions you to get a larger refund and have more tax deductions are things that are incentivized based on the tax code. So it's certain things that are incentivized for you to do. At one point, electric vehicles had a tax credit or some type of tax incentive. When it comes to mortgages and mortgage interest, there's an incentive associated with it. The one that's my favorite, when you have a home-based business, and really in this day and age, it can be a phone-based business. Type that in the comments, a phone-based business, because you had the ability to operate a business from your phone. Your phone is not just a phone anymore. It's more than just about talking on it, and it's more than just about texting. This thing can be your camcorder, your editor, your marketing machine, your ability to communicate on multiple platforms to diversify your marketing. It positions you to store so much information, spreadsheets, data, documents, sign things, you name it. The phone has the ability to do it. So the fact that your phone is a business, many of you are doing things every day that could position you to have tax deductions. If we just look at the fact that social media is paying many creators who create on their platform, you are now in business. You are now a content creator. And if you realize that, now you can look at what you've been doing over the previous year and how it aligns with content creation. Look at your phone history. Have you been taking pictures of your food? Have you been doing things in areas that you've traveled to create content and marketing material to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about? Even if you don't necessarily have products and services to sell, but you were doing whatever you could in order to get monetized on these social media platforms, now you're a content creator, even if it's in the realm of entertainment and you're posting things that are in entertainment to other people. And entertainment doesn't mean you have to be funny. This means that you are doing something that makes people pass time, that is considered to be entertainment. People who do mukbang or just sitting there eating food, or people who doing food review like videos. This is a phone-based business, because a lot of times what you're doing is not only marketing the company by giving them a rating based on how good their food is, you're creating content that people tends to watch because they're interested in what you have to say about a particular restaurant. And some people just like to watch people eat. Hey, that's a new thing for me, but it's a real thing for many people. That being said, it's things that you've already done that could position you to have a phone-based business. Why is that important? Because if you have a phone-based business, you open up hundreds of tax deductions just from having a phone-based business. So if you're a content creator, the world opens up to you. The world opens up because now the world is your office. You see, when I create content, I'm not limited just to the realms of the home that I'm in. I can be in Puerto Rico and it was content creation that was being done. I can be in a whole nother state, Texas, on a cruise. This content creation being done with the intent to make a profit, because I know I'm recording content that has a nice scenery, nice background, nice backdrop, nice, aesthetics. And this is going to look good when I put my wording on there. I put my information or educational material on there. All of these things play a significant role in my content creation, which allows me to make the things that I'm already doing anyway tax deductible. Travel can be tax deductible. Mileage on your vehicle can be tax deductible. The meals and the food that you buy can be tax deductible. Of course, your phone bill can be tax deductible. The internet services that you're paying for, tax deductible. If you're printing anything, tax deductible. If you're getting labels, business websites, Canva software, all of these different services can be tax deductible. Are you getting postage that you're paying for? Tax deductible. So all of these things, fees that even come out, say you get paid on platforms such as PayPal, tax deductible. The taxes and the fees that come out is a tax deduction, because that's an expense of operating your business. All of that money didn't go to you. Part of it went to fees. You write that off as a tax deduction because that's at a loss to you. Even when you're running certain discounts, you're waiving your price points, and that's a form of marketing. But you have to get with a good tax professional who understands how they work. And if they understand how they work, they can ask you the right qualifying questions that can get you to take a look at what you did January through December inside of the previous year, that could potentially position you to make a lot of the expenses and things that you did and receipts and transactions tax deductible. That's very important. And a lot of people will put an extra couple of thousand or thousands of dollars in their pocket once they truly understand that. The first year that I did it, I was single, no kids. I was able to increase my tax deductions and realize how many things I can write off. I think I wrote off over $12,000 worth of stuff. Once that $12,000 worth of stuff was written off as a single person, I think my refund ended up being like $7K, and that was unheard of. Now, I had paid a decent amount of taxes in, but I had tax deductions, which lowered my tax liability, put me in a different tax bracket, gave me a tax credit, and when you add it all up, I ended up getting like 7,000 plus in the form of a refund. And that was just off of understanding. Now, I know I said if you listen for the first 4 or 5 minutes, it'll put money in your pocket. But if you're still here, then take what I just said and apply it. But make sure you get with a tax professional who understands it and is not scared to make those deductions, because you want to make sure it's somebody who's also getting tax deductions for themselves. Not somebody who's working at a particular facility that's doing taxes as you walk into Walmart or things of that nature. No, you want to make sure that they understand tax deductions, because they're taking them themselves. And if they do it themselves, then they're not afraid of it because they understand it enough to do it in most cases. I can't speak for everyone. I no longer file taxes directly, and it may be a link available below for you to get access to some tools that can help you. But I just really had to point that out because a lot of people miss that, and I don't want people to miss the opportunity that exists within getting tax deductions. So let's look at the charts. I won't even look into some of the details, but basically they'll start accepting early returns on the 26th, depending on when you're watching this video. This day has come, but get your screenshots ready, because I just want to go straight to the dates so you can understand when you need to file by, based on when you want to get your refund if you qualify for one. And for those of you who feel like you make too much money, then you definitely need to have a phone-based business so you can position yourself to get a ton of tax deductions by doing so. Now, on the left side, you'll see if the IRS accepts the e-file return by the date on the left, then the direct deposit refund may be received as early as 10 business days after e-file is accepted. And the IRS says paper checks will no longer be issued for tax refund. That's important for people to know. Now, I know they do have cards and things that it can get put on, but just keep that in mind, that paper checks will no longer be issued for tax refunds. Now, on the left, it says IRS has announced it will start accepting returns as early as January 26th and may receive refunds as early as the date on the right. So the 26th, then you're likely to get the refund around February 6th. For the February 2nd, it's February 13th. For February 9th, it's February 20th. I'm not going to read each one. I know you're fully capable of doing that yourself, But just get screenshots as I continue to slowly scroll so you can see, okay, I wanted to have mine by this day because this is what's taking place around this time. Whatever it is, do what you need to do and figure out when is the best time to likely get your refund. You see it went all the way to the end of tax season. If you file by the 13th, then you'll likely get it on April 24th. Now, do something strategic with it. Make a reinvestment. Do something that can be you circulate money that creates even more tax deductions. That's a beautiful thing. Or invest in something that can continue to make you money. That's the beautiful thing. So don't just fully blow it. But I just want you to know that these dates can position you to plan accordingly. And if you file after the deadline, basically you did an extension or whatever the case may be, here are the dates for that as well. Now, of course, all of these are estimates. So if this is an estimate, it's not a guarantee. And you can always use the Where's My Refund tool or the IRS To Go app in order to get a better understanding of what your situation is and when you'll be likely to get your refund. More tax videos coming soon. Stay tuned if you want to put more money in your pockets legally, ethically, and morally. Mr. Smith signing out. Salute.